We are live now. Let's say our opening prayers. Sit straight, close your eyes, drop your shoulders, open your chest. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, chant Om, and let's do it 3 times. Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we are on chapter 12 of part 2 in Ayodhya Kanda. The chapter is called A Mother's Blessings. So this is continuing where Rama is actually getting prepared and leaving from Ayodhya to go into the Dandaka forest. So Kaushalya realized that Rama had made up his mind long ago and that he would not. Let me close the window. And he would not listen to her pleadings. Sobs were stopping her from talking clearly, and she said, "My child, I cannot think of the son of the Emperor Dasharatha living in the forest like a mendicant. He will from now live on fruits and roots gathered in the forest. Will anyone believe it when they hear that Dasharatha has banished Rama to the forest? Rama, who was till now his very life. As you say, fate is the most powerful of all, since it has made you the beloved of all live in the forest. I will not be able to bear this separation from you. It will burn me like a forest fire will. A forest full of dry leaves, take me with you. I will follow you wherever you go." Rama looked at his mother, whose face was bathed in tears, and said, "Mother, my father has been deceived by Kaikeyi. When I've gone to the forest, he'll go through a great suffering. It'll take him a long time to get over the separation from me. If you too abandon him and come with me, he will not be able to live. Mother, I do not have to tell you about the dharma of a pativrata. So long as my father is alive, it is your duty to stay by his side and serve him. That is your dharma." With a great effort of will, Kaushalya controlled herself and in a firm voice said, "Rama, you're right. I will do what you have asked me to do. I will stay by the side of the king who will be very unhappy." Rama continued, "Mother, these 9 years, 5 more will pass very soon. I will come back. Actually, when I think of it, living in the forest will be to me like a game to play. Console yourself with the thought that I'll come back to you soon, very soon." There were now tears gathering in the eyes of Rama when he said, "Mother, if you should come with me, the king will be left alone. It is not right. A woman's place is beside her lord and master. You should not abandon the king in his hour of need. Also, let me assure you of one thing. Bharata is a righteous man and a very noble youth. He will walk only in the path of Dharma. He will take good care of you and please you in every way. I am certain of that. After I've gone away, my father will suffer agonies because of his separation from me. You should comfort him and make him bear the extreme grief which he is going to suffer. At this age, to suffer grief will be unbearable for my father, and you should be the one to share it with him and try to lessen it. Mother, pursue your daily worships of the Lord and pray for my well-being. Wait for me to come back and take good care of my father. Kaushalya said, "Since fate has conspired against me, I am not able to change your mind. May you be blessed all the way you can go. I will grant you permission. May you be attended by good fortune and nothing else all the way. I'll wait for you to come back. You will clear the debt you owe to your father. Having followed the dictates of Dharma, you will come back to me and make me happy. If it were not for fate, you would never have disobeyed me. Go, my child, and come back well and happy. I will hear your dear voice and forget all the pain of the years I have to spend without you." Rama, do not tarry, prepare yourself for the journey. May that Dharma protect you, which you have been following so assiduously with a firm mind and with a religious dedication. The gods whom you have been worshipping will protect you in the forest. May the astras given you by the noble Vishwamitra protect you. May the Samit Kusa and the many things in the forest protect you. Vishwadevas, Maruts, Data, and Vidata, Pushan Bhaga are all invoked by me to give you their grace. May the guardians of the quarters led by Indra lend their protection to you. May your path be blessed and may your valor be very successful. Kaushalya fed the fire with havis and ghee and butter, and she prayed for the welfare of her son. She said, when the Lord of the heavens, Indra, went out to fight with Vrita, he was blessed by all. May such blessings attend you too. When Garuda went to the heavens to bring Amrita, his mother Vinata blessed him to be successful in his mission. May that blessing go with you. When there was war between Devas and Asuras, Aditi gave her blessings to her son Indra. May that blessing go with you, my son. When you go to the forest, I'll bless you as Vamana was blessed when he went to Yajna of Bali to beg for the three worlds. May the forest and all that is in the forest do nothing but good to you, my child. Her sorrow had been controlled by her prayers, and with a calm face, Kaushalya placed the tilaka on Rama's forehead and tied the raksha on his wrist. She embraced him warmly and said, go, my child, and come back to me. May you be without any illness. I will wait for the day when you will walk again in the streets of Ayodhya. After these 14 years, I will see you seated on the throne of the Ikshvakus. I'm certain of that. My prayers will not remain unanswered, and I will have you back with me. With tears flowing from her eyes, Kaushalya completed the ritual of Swasti and embraced Rama again and again. Rama prostrated before her and held on to her feet. Again and again he took the dust off her feet, and without looking back, he left his mother's presence. That is chapter 12. You want to share your thoughts, Surya and Laya?
Um, I found how interesting how Rama's mother told how the same what protection she wanted for her son, like what Indra had and
A
things like
very
that.
elaborate
Yeah.
protection, right? Yes, yes. So she was intentional about so many different protections for her son. And Laya, what are your thoughts? You want to share?
Um, I don't they didn't say in the book, but I feel like Rama couldn't look back at his mom because then he would probably have like a stronger urge to stay. That
Mm,
I don't know,
okay, that's what you're
like
thinking. That's
predicting.
what you
Yeah,
feel, yeah?
yeah,
Yes, yeah, I agree because he's also very sad,
yeah,
but he's doing it as a form of duty. It's not that he is not overcome by emotion like the rest of them, but he's being very strong and just like you said, if he just keeps going forward, it'll be less painful for him. So shall we continue? Chapter 13 called Rama and Sita. Rama entered the streets of Ayodhya after taking leave of his mother. He went straight to his own palace. He was eager to see Sita. Sita had not heard about the many things which had happened in the royal palace, and her mind was dwelling on the coronation which was to take place. She performed the daily worship of the household gods and awaited the coming of her beloved Rama. Rama entered the palace. The place was filled with people with eager, expectant faces, and Rama felt suddenly self conscious and his face looked thoughtful. His usual smile was absent, and his head slightly bent. He walked towards the inner chambers. Sita, who had been seated, stood up abruptly and looked at Rama. His face had worried look, and there was no glow about him as was usual. He looked sad and depressed. Rama was not able to hide from her the great conflict which was raging in his mind. Sita could see that he was greatly upset about something. His face was without the smile. He actually looked angry and sweat was pouring from his frame. With great concern, Sita went to him and said, "What has happened, my lord? Why do you look so worried, angry, and unhappy? Today is the day set for your coronation, and you do not seem to be happy at all. Rama, I've never seen your face without the smile meant only for me. Why do you look so stern and so grim? I'm afraid for you. Tell me what is worrying you." Rama stood for a moment without speaking, and then abruptly he said, "Sita, my father, revered by all of us, has today asked me to go to the forest. Born as you are in a great line of kings famed for their righteousness, you will be able to understand my words. You have ever followed me in my path, and I'll tell you what happened. My father, who's the very image of truth and had once upon a time granted two boons to my mother, Kaikeyi, who had saved his life. My father had arranged this coronation for me with great enthusiasm and eagerness. While the preparations were being made, Kaikeyi asked him to grant her these two boons. The king was bound in honor to do so. The boons are simple in wording. I have to live in the forest for the duration of 14 years while my brother Bharata will be crowned as the Yuvaraja. It is as simple as that. I have therefore come to you to bid you farewell before leaving for the forest by name Dandaka. Sita, I want to give you a piece of advice which you should remember to follow. Never at any time praise me in the presence of Bharata. Men in high positions cannot bear to hear the praise of other men. You should learn to behave in such a way that he is not displeased with you. The king has made him the Yuvaraja, and you should be very guarded in your dealings with him. As for me, I'm leaving at once for the forest at the command of the king. Be courageous and await my return with patience. When I am away, spend your time in the observance of all the vratas and fasts and pray for my welfare. Remember to serve my father at all times and my mother Kaushalya. She's aged and she's suffering because of my departure. You must make it your personal task to attend on her constantly. Do not neglect her who is full of sorrow. My other mothers should also be treated with respect because I've thought of all of them as my mothers. Bharata and Shatrughna are dearer to me than my very life, and so you must treat them as though they are your brothers or your sons. You must have nothing but affection for them. Never displease Bharata by any of your actions. He will be the ruler and he'll be the king who lays down the law. Sita, kings should be happy with the behavior of the subjects and they will in their turn be gratified by their devotion. If, however, they are not feared and treated with respect, there is every chance of their becoming angry, and that will be the sad state of affairs. If he acts against his wishes, a king will abandon even the son born of him and favor someone who is an absolute stranger to him. And so, Sita, walk very carefully in the path which will be pleasing to Bharata, and at the same time spend all your time in observing vratas and fasts which will be for my well-being and yours. I'm going to the forest, and you, my beloved, must stay here. You have never once displeased me or anyone so far. Remain here since I say so, and you must accede to my wishes. Sita was listening to Rama without a word. She stood silent, and when he stopped talking, she looked at him. They were alone, and she knew that she could speak what came to her mind. Her gentle looks vanished as though by magic. Her eyes were flashing when she said, "Rama, what are you trying to tell me? Rama, my beloved husband, are you trying to make light of this, what has happened to us? Very casually, you're commanding me to do your bidding. Have I been in the wrong that you should talk to me thus? What have I done? How have I offended you that you should punish me thus? I've been taught the rules of Dharma in a different way. I've been given to understand that everyone, whether he's a father, a mother, a brother, or a son, is meant to enjoy or suffer the results of Papa and Punya, which he or she has committed in the previous birth. The wife, however, is meant to share the fate of her husband, whether it is good or bad, which befalls the husband, the wife has a share in it. Accordingly, when you've been banished to the forest, that means I have also been asked to go and dwell in the forest with you. Well versed in Dharma as you are, I do not have to teach the nuances of it to you. For a woman, the husband is the only refuge and not her father, not her son, or her mother, or her friends, nor even her Atman in this life and in this life and in the life to come too. Why do you have to behave as though you know nothing of this rule? When you go to the fearful forest, I'll proceed before you and clear the path for you by removing the thorns and twigs which are likely to hurt your blessed feet. Please, Rama, please do not be angry with me for contradicting you and disobeying you in this manner. Forget as you would water which has been left over after one has tasted it. Take me with you. I promise you, I will not be any trouble. For a woman living in the glorious mansions of an emperor, or even dwelling in the heavens in the company of divine beings, or being able to achieve the eight siddhis, and to be able to wander in the skies by the power of yoga, all these are as nothing compared to being with her Lord. My father and my mother have constantly taught me the code of behavior, and I can boast to you that I'm familiar with the rules of conduct. I will certainly go to the forest which has tigers and lions and other wild animals as its inhabitants. I'll be happy only in serving you. I'm not enamored of luxury in the palace. All I want is to be with you. To me, it will be like staying in my father's house. I'll be happy with you wandering in the forest perfumed with the scent of 1,000 flowers. You are a lion among men, and you are the protector of everyone, and even a small, insignificant man will be cared for by you. What then about me? Can you not care of me in the forest? I have made up my mind to be with you in the forest, and I will not allow you to try and dissuade me from my decision. I will eat the fruits and roots with you, and I assure you I will not be a source of worry to you. I wish to go with you and spend all my time in the midst of rivers, lakes, coppices, free of all care. We can wander at will in the beautiful surroundings. With you by my side, heaven will seem to have come down to the earth. With you by my side, I will enjoy seeing the lotuses blooming on the waters of the ponds and watch the swans gliding slowly on the surfaces of the lakes. To stay with you is the only path which leads me to the heavens, and I am bent on following it. I will observe all the vratas which you do, and I will be by your side always. I can spend thousands of years thus happily with you, Rama, without you by my side. Heaven will hold no charm for me. Rama, take me with you. I will not be able to live without you if I am to be separated from you. I will not find it hard to be in the forest when you are with me. Rama did not seem to relish the words spoken by Sita. He did not want to take her with him. He tried to argue with her and tell her about the dangers which beset one who walks in the forest. He tried to comfort Sita, whose tears were flowing unheeded. Wiping them with gentle fingers, he said, Sita, you're the daughter of a great man who is well versed in Dharma, and you're yourself no stranger to the nuances of it. You should then know that your Dharma is to obey me. Stay back here in Ayodhya, do as I tell you. Dwelling in the forest is not as easy as you seem to imagine. Abandon this desire to go to the forest with me, uninhabited by human beings. The forest will be a fearful place to live in. I have nothing but your welfare at heart when I try to dissuade you from this impulsive decision. There is not a single ray of happiness in this forest life to which I have been condemned. Wild animals are there in plenty to frighten you and make life miserable because of the constant danger to life. You talk about sporting in the rivers, but you do not seem to realize that the rivers are full of crocodiles, which will grab you and will never let you go. The paths are not there at all, which you have to follow. The forest is full of thorny bushes and creepers which bar your way. At times, there will not be water even for us to drink. As for sleep, you will have to make a bed of dried leaves. For a princess like you, brought up in the lap of luxury, it will not be possible to sleep in such a bed. My dearest wife, you are accustomed to wearing the softest of silks, and how can you wear crude clothes made of tree bark? Your beautiful soft hair will all be tangled mass since you will not be able to take care of it. You may have to starve at times because of lack of fruits and roots in some places, and again, there will be the season to reckon with. The rainy season will soon be here, and before that, the sun will be scorching the world with his sharp rays like arrows. How can you bear the extremes of nature? How can you bear the coldness of Shishira Ritu when the very trees will tremble in cold and shed all their leaves? Think of the serpents and pythons which will catch you unawares. Infinite are the dangers that beset the path of a traveler in the forest. How can you, tender and young as you are, bear all this? In your affection for me, you say that you do not mind them, but you do not know what a dreadful place the Dandaka forest is. I have considered everything well and I have come to the decision that you should not come with me, but stay in Ayodhya till my return. Sita would not be convinced. She looked at Rama with eyes which were filled with sadness as well as anger. I'm very unhappy, she said, and stood silent for a while. She then spoke in a soft and persuasive voice. Rama, she said, all the many dangers which you've been enumerating all this while seem to me to be but the charms of the forest since you will be with me. I've never seen all the animals and crocodiles, the trees and lotus ponds which you described to me. I want to see them, and again, when they see you, they will all resort to flight, afraid of you and your valor. My parents have told me that my place is by the side of my husband at all times, and I mean to follow that rule. If, however, you insist that I have to stay behind, I'll have to give up my life. When you're by my side, no one, not even Indra, the Lord of the heavens, will have the courage to harm me. Oftentimes, and I've heard of Dharma, when we have talked of it together, you have told me that a pativrata is, if she is separated from her husband, is not fit to be alive. I am also reminded of an incident when I was in my father's house. Some wise men came there, and I was told by them that I would have to live in the forest sometime during my lifetime. Ever since then, there was always been this thought lying at the back of my mind that I would see the forest sometime. Somehow it is destined that I should go with you. Rama, I want to be with you. Do not try to keep me away from you. I'm not a child, and I know that the forest is beset with dangers. My only thought is to serve you in the forest. I'll not be a hindrance to you. Rama, you're the only man whom I worshipped, and I will follow you wherever you go. In childhood, a woman protected by a father, in her youth by a husband, and in her old age by a son. Woman is never free. I'll be your wife in the next world too. Rama, I have ever been devoted to you. Never once have I displeased you in any way. You are ever in my heart and in my thoughts. You know it. How then can you have the heart to ask me to be with you, without you? How can you have the heart to be without me? Your happiness is mine, and I'll gladly share with you your misfortune. I'm also able to view unhappiness with unruffled mind. You have taught me that. If you still persist in refusing this desire, I'll kill myself either by swallowing poison or by falling into the blazing fire or by drowning myself. Her tears seemed to be drenching the very path, earth out of which she was born, and her sighs were eloquent of her grief. Rama was still trying to dissuade her. He wiped her tears and spoke words of sweetness. He spoke again of the troubles of living in the forest and asked her to stay behind. Sita spoke again. She could not take liberties with Rama since she was his wife and she knew that he would not be offended. In the mood born of love, desperation, eagerness to go with him, Sita said, my father, the king of Mithila, made a mistake perhaps. He has given his daughter to a woman dressed as a man. If the world talks of Rama, thus Rama does not possess the glory which is equaled only by the sun. Will it not be false, my lord? Why do you want to leave me behind? Who is ever devoted to you and who has no one else to call as hers? Tell me why you think it will be difficult to take me with you. Remember, I am like Savitri who followed her lord, the son of Dyumatsena, whom when he was taken to the very bone of death. I'm not like an ordinary woman who can amuse herself even when her husband is not with her. Rama, you're famed for the noble quality in you, which says you will never abandon those who are devoted to you. You have been known to love me and only me. And as for me, I have no thought of anything else except your love for me. And yet you want to leave me in the hands of your enemies. Your undertaking to go to the forest at the behest of your father is indeed something which will be remembered by men ever after. Such a man should not leave his wife behind. You must take me with you wherever you go, whether it is a forest, Tapoloka, heaven, or any other place. I'll be happy only with you by my side. Rama, the dust which will blow in the forest will seem to me to be sandal paste, and the thorns will seem like the down from the breast of a swan. You have adopted the forest as a mansion to live in, and so have I. We will together eat the fruits and roots from the trees, and that'll taste like nectar to me. I will never remember my mother or my father or this place. I will spend all my time in the midst of the wildflowers of the forest. I'll not be a burden to you, nor will I displease you in anything. To me, it is heaven to be with you and hell to be without you. Please understand the pain in my heart and taking pity on me, take me with you. You know that even a moment without you is painful to me and unbearable. How then can I live for a year, 3 more, and 10 more years to follow without you? Sita's grief was pathetic. She embraced Rama and wept without restraint. Out of her eyes fell tears which looked like drops of crystal falling from the petals of a lotus. Her face, which was like the moon, was now without its glow, like the moon drenched in forest, like a lotus which had been uprooted and thrown on the ground. Rama embraced his weeping queen and said, Sita, my dearest, if by making you unhappy I were to acquire heaven, I will not consider the thought of it even. I am not hesitant to take you with me to the forest. I am capable of protecting the entire world. And that was not the reason for my refusing to take you with me. Just 1 second. We're going to complete this chapter. Just 1 second. Okay, so continuing. I wanted to know for certain what your desire was, and without knowing it, how would I your mind for you? Make up your mind for you. That was the only reason why I spoke to you thus. You have been created, Sita, to spend the years in the forest with me. It is not meet that you should remain here when I go away from here. You're part of me, and even as Suvarchala follows her Lord Surya, you must be with me always. This is a dharma taught by the elders, and we know it only too well. My father has commanded me, go to the forest and dwell there for 14 years, and I am but obeying him implicitly. Implicit obedience to one's father and mother is the ancient rule. I will not transgress from the ancient rule. Ignoring one's father, mother, and guru, who are gods incarnate, if a man worships some other god, what is the use of such a worship? To perform yajnas and give away great wealth as gifts to many will not earn for one the punya which this observance grants to man. Such a man inherits the punya lokas. You have made up your mind to live with me in the great and fearful forest Dandaka, and I'm certain I'll take you with me. When your father gave you in marriage to me, he said, this Sita will be your Sahadharmachari. You shall take today, walk in the path of Dharma, which I have set my mind on, along with me. You're an ornament to your family and mine, and you have proved that you're a jewel among women. Come, Sita, make all preparations for your journey. Give away wealth to Brahmins, feed the poor, give away all that you have to the maids, to your servants, and other attendants in the palace. Sita's face was glowing with happiness when she heard that Rama would take her with him. She smiled happily, and even as he was speaking, she decided to give away all that she possessed to the many inmates of the palace, as was suggested by Rama. That is the end of chapter 12. We have read 2 chapters, 12 and 13. Surya and Laya, your thoughts? It was a very long chapter. I did not interrupt in between.
I found how like Rama was using Dharma to say you should say, and then Sita was also using Dharma to say I should come.
Yeah. Yes.
I liked how they were using different people's stories to try to justify what they were trying to say.
Mm. You
And
do persuasive writing and speaking, right? This was
yeah, they
how
give like a new perspective on what they're trying to say.
I'm amazed by the level at which you guys are sharing your thoughts. Truly beautiful. So tomorrow's is Lakshmana's request. So that is chapter 14, where Lakshmana will be now saying that he also wants to join. So we'll read that tomorrow. Let's say our closing prayers now. So let's sit straight and 3 chants of Om. 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good night. Thanks for watching.